Everyone. My name is Nitin Rangarajan, and today I will be giving a brief introduction to all of you and speak a little about initial coin offerings and the scope, the social media impact on initial coin offerings, and the investments that you guys can think about in them, the kind of threats they possess and spread. So a brief introduction about me. My name is Nitin. I am a graduate student in the Information Science Department. I come from India and I have a professional experience of 3 years as a software developer. I am not a subject matter expert when it comes to ICOs and blockchain and Bitcoin, but I'm ever grateful for Professor Zeshan for giving me the opportunity to do an independent study under him on this topic. I also thank Professor Tom for giving me this opportunity to present my findings in front of you all. So without much ado, we can venture into today's presentation. So today we will be focusing on getting to know what cryptocurrencies are, understanding the dynamics behind public offerings, and stepping a little into the world of ICOs, understand what they are, and then understanding the relevance for ICOs in a startup environment, understanding the success stories and pitfalls, and also the influence of social media and their impact, and finally close it off with investment options and whether they are actually very good platforms to invest in or not. So, cryptocurrencies this is a word that's been doing rounds on all of our social media feeds for the last couple of years. We've all heard Bitcoins and Ether and Litecoins. So what is cryptocurrency? So cryptocurrency is just a virtual form of your actual currency. So if I and Professor Zeshan if I owe Professor Zeshan $100 and I pay him a $100 bill, that's an actual regulated transaction because I'm paying a bill or an amount of money that was regulated by the government. Whereas virtual currency is completely unregulated and it is also encrypted. And at the same time, there are no middlemen when it comes to virtual currency transactions. So in this transaction where I am paying some kind of money to Professor Zeshan, the government is the middleman here, or the banks are the middleman here. Whereas when it comes to cryptocurrencies, it's all peer-to-peer. So there's absolutely no middleman involved in this entire process. So I would also like to play this small video clip that explains in extremely simple terms as to what Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies are all about.
What's a super easy way to tell that your bet is awful? The raw egg test. Let me prove it.
Bitcoin is a digital currency which aims to do away with all the problems we have paying for things online. You may think that the system we have is pretty good, but everything we buy today has to go through a bank or credit card company who take a cut of the transaction and who rely on our trust that they'll do everything right. After a while, those payments start to build up, and added to that is security. You have to trust your card company to keep your details safe. Many people have tried to work out how to have a payment system without that middleman. But then there's another problem. How do you prove that you've paid for something? Or even that you have that money at all, without someone vouching for you? It's so serious it has a name, the double spending problem. Then, in 2008, a solution was offered by an anonymous programmer going by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. Nakamoto left a paper on a popular cryptography blog which proposed a system of currency that solved all of these fiddly problems. His proposal was that instead of a bank or credit card company recording every transaction in one central ledger, all of the users would record all of the transactions at the same time. As a result, any attempt to fool the community would be noticed and the payment rejected. No one user, government, or bank can force a fee on a payment or control its flow. The result is a cheaper, quicker, and easier way to spend money, even across national borders. So this is Bitcoin, and it's already starting to have an impact on people's lives. Within months of the proposal, it was being used to buy and sell goods. although not always from the most scrupulous of traders. But it's not all shady businesses. Some shopping sites take it. You can buy pints in London and even pay for your university tuition. As you might have heard, there are problems. While some are profiting from getting involved early, others are losing out from this volatile and young market. And people are founding companies to buy up lots of bitcoins. But as it's designed to have a limited amount ever in circulation, that might cause problems down the road. There's so much uncertainty around Bitcoin. Some people genuinely think this is the future. Others are terrified it could destroy our economy. But many from both sides agree that if we could get Bitcoin to work, or something like it, if we can trust a digital currency to work without the middlemen, then the way the world economy functions could be transformed for the better.
We all know that Stephen Hawking has worked on some of the...
So as we saw in that video, bitcoins and cryptocurrencies are reshaping the way we look at world economy. And in the near future, we can in fact expect an economy that is decentralized, that has that facilitates peer-to-peer transactions without any middlemen involved. So now we step into something called as initial public offering. So let's make this interactive by trying to understand public offerings by means of a story. So let's meet the owners of a fast food chain, and let's call them Ethos, Porthos, and Aramis. Can anyone tell me where those names are from? Yeah, the three musketeers. So Ethos, Porthos, and Aramis are three people who are very happy with the business that they're running. They're extremely profitable, and they're getting a lot of customers to their fast food chain. And let's assume that they sell from Chicago. But so now they see a market where they really want to expand to all of the United States, and thereby they are looking at raising capital because they don't have money. So to raise capital, what they have decided to do is to sell shares of the company. Shares is nothing but a part of the company. So assume that if their business is $1.2 million, and those three people decide on selling close to 600,000 shares to raise capital. So this is where they, in order to raise capital, they contact someone called Nitin, who's also a very famous character in the Three Musketeers. So this guy is an investment banker down in Wall Street. So what they do is they give him a call and they say, hey listen, we are looking to raise capital and we need your help in doing that because we cannot reach out to investors directly. So our middleman Nitin is a good guy with a lot of contacts in Wall Street. So he's going to contact everyone and try to reach a consensus which is both profitable for our Three Musketeers here and as well as the investors. So after a lot of deliberation and talking, they finally decide on a particular date when it can go public. So that particular event that is launched is called as initial public offering because that is the first time that the shares are offered to the public. And assume that each share goes for $1, which means that our Three Musketeers earn $600,000, which is a fair deal, with obviously the arguments taking some of them as commission. So having this basic knowledge of public offering, we can actually dwell into initial coin offerings. Initial coin offerings is something very similar to public offerings. The only difference being initial coin offerings are completely virtual and they don't deal with physical money. They only deal with cryptocurrencies, and the most important point is that they don't have any middlemen. So it's all peer-to-peer. So let us assume there are Three Musketeers, Ethos, Porthos, and Aramis. Now want to set up a startup company that, say for example, develops an augmented reality or a virtual reality application. So they hired a team of developers, a team of testers, business analysts, a finance team, an HR team, a management team, but they do not have the capital to put all these together and start a new company. So what they do is they do not call the startup at this time. They instead launch an ICO campaign or an initial coin offering campaign. And how is this done? Through social media. So what they do is they get something called as a white paper ready, where they list down all their goals and objectives, what are the products they're building, what is the budget of the project, how much of the virtual tokens will the startup keep for itself, the future plans, and how long will the ICO campaign last for. So in this, so once the ICO campaign is launched, they need to communicate with the investors on how the exchange is going to take place. So what the ICO companies will do is that they will sell something called as tokens, and the investors investing on these companies will pay for them by means of cryptocurrencies. Okay? And the motivation for the investors here is that if the ICO company is not able to raise enough funds for building their entire product and entire company, or that the money that they expected, the ICO is deemed a failure, and the money is returned back to the investors. So it's a win-win situation for the investors. They get back the money if the required funds is not raised, and if the required funds are raised, the team starts building on the product. But again, the benefit is that since they have received tokens from the ICO company, the product, and if it turns out to be really successful, the value of the product will rise in the market. So what happens is the investors can later invest these tokens in the same company, or either purchase the company or sell it elsewhere to make better money. So Ethereum is was one such ICO company that was launched in 2014, went live in 2015, and in 2016. They raised more than 1 billion in market capital, and they raised 80 million in bitcoins, which is spectacular for an ICO company in 2014. So what's in it for startups? So this particular company, the video of which we will watch soon, is a startup that is looking to launch an ICO campaign, and let's see how they do that.
When you think about the creation of money, you think about places like this, or this. But what if money was created here, in a Brooklyn loft, by a group of young entrepreneurs and data nerds? The company is called AirSwap. The founders all met at either Burning Man or business school, and they envisioned a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency exchange. Today, they're launching their ICO, or initial coin offering. An ICO is sort of like an IPO, but instead of buying shares, investors buy tokens.
This process is entirely crypto. So you cannot use, for example, fiat currency like $1 to purchase our tokens. So we're selling our tokens for Ether, which is effectively digital currency.
Most people buy tokens in the hopes that they'll increase in value, much like shares of a company.
Because this is a global sale, we need to be available to people in different time zones.
So the sale is going to run for 24 hours, and by the end we will have approximately $35 million.
What will they do with all that money? Well, to understand this, you need to know a little bit about blockchain. Now let me keep this really simple. A blockchain is a virtual public ledger that keeps any and every exchange watertight and protected from fraud or hacking. Experts agree that blockchain is poised to revolutionize the way we do business in the future. Using this groundbreaking technology, AirSwap is building an exchange that removes all middlemen. Lawyers, clearinghouses, banks, and even governments will be bypassed with this new peer-to-peer system.
The same way that the internet and telecommunications allow for peer-to-peer information transfer, you're seeing this now happen with blockchain, where you have peer-to-peer value transfer.
I think one of the reasons why people are looking at this is really started in 2008, when people's confidence in the financial system was really shaken to the core. And all these intermediaries that people trusted fell short, and people are looking for an alternative in which you and I can exchange value without the need of depending on these institutions that we used to trust.
The demand for this decentralized exchange is high, something AirSwap capitalized on by using social media to build a worldwide online community in anticipation of their ICO.
This is basically a live world map of all the orders that we have coming through the system. It updates live in real time.
This is the AirSwap.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So they're posting me.
We're probably around 23 million right now. I can actually check. Yeah, we're at 23 million.
The 24-hour-long token sale wasn't without its hitches. Several well-designed fake accounts tried to scam members of the AirSwap community out of their Ether.
But this is a phishing scam. Right now I'm crafting an announcement to alert the community to several what are actually very well done websites that are trying to convince people that they are us. So we need to like actively expose them.
The imposters were eventually shut down, and sales resumed uninterrupted throughout the night and into the next morning.
Right now we have just around 13 minutes left until the sale is over. It's been a very tough 24 hours.
Very cool. We've sold out our entire allocation.
All right, we've got 5,000 token holders.
By the end of the ICO, AirSwap had raised what is now valued at over $50 million of Ether, issuing all of their available tokens worldwide.
By most, if not all measures, we can call it a success.
But the playing field is flooded with ICOs right now. In 2016, there were fewer than 50 ICOs. In 2017, that number jumped to over 250. Now, everyone from Overstock.com to Kodak, yes, Kodak, has jumped onto the cryptocurrency bandwagon and launched their own ICOs. No one knows who will survive the hype, and AirSwap remains a relative newcomer. But they remain optimistic that their global community of thousands of token holders will push them to dominance, all from this Brooklyn loft. And in the bleary landscape of cryptocurrency, that's worth something.
Our morning, our week.
So we saw in this video that AirSwap is trying to raise funding by launching an ICO campaign, and they were pretty successful in it, raising close to $23 million in the campaign. So a few more success stories and pitfalls can be observed when it comes to ICO campaign, because ICO campaign is not always a rosy bed. There are very successful stories involved. For example, Storage is a company. It's a decentralized cloud storage network that aims to be one of the best in the world. They raised close to 20 million in their first six hours of the ICO and 30 million in total. And then there's MonsterByte, which announced their pre-sale on July 6, 2017 and sold out in 5 minutes. And when they actually did the ICO campaign, they sold over 5 million tokens during the general sale. That is fantastic when it comes to an ICO, since this is still not a trusted platform for investment. So, but having said all that, ICO campaigns also has their own pitfalls. And this is largely because ICOs are generally associated with startups, and startups have a very large failure rate. More than 50% of the new startups in the US close after 5 years, and then 82% of the failed businesses had a cash flow problem. So that's a bothering issue with startups, because they don't get the necessary funding from time to time for continuous development. And then 27% of the businesses that fail don't get additional funding, just like I said. And only 40% of the startups are profitable, and 30% break even, and 30% lose money. So this is one of the reasons that a lot of investors are scared to invest in ICOs, because they're not sure if the startup or the venture will indeed become successful. So impact of social media on ICOs is what I'm currently working on under Dr. Shan. And in this study, what I'm trying to understand is whether social media can impact the way investors look at ICO campaigns. For example, we saw a couple of months back that when Snapchat changed their update, and Kylie Jenner tweeted that the update wasn't good, and that led to 6% drop in their stock price, leading to $1.5 billion loss for Snapchat. Social media is something that can impact a business in a matter of few seconds. Someone influential sitting in New Zealand can cause havoc for some business in Switzerland, for instance. So the impact of internet forums and social media channels are huge, and they have to be handled particularly well. And since most of these ICO campaigns are launched on social media, it makes even more sense that we understand what kind of impact that social media can create. So let's take a case study of this company called Derion, which deals with blockchain digital processes, and it's an automation company that creates proof of business processes in banking, healthcare, law, medical, technology, etc. So Derion is particularly backed by companies like Microsoft and Philips, and therefore has a lot of financial and financial and advisory backing. But what we can do is to play a little game here and try to understand what are the important social media metrics that can indeed affect a startup company. So, so how we can do this is I'll pass on these stick-on papers, and what you guys can do is that you guys can write down what you think are the 3 most important facets of social media when it comes to business impact. Okay, so I'm going to pass this down. So we'll just wrap this up quickly. So I'll just put it as 1 per table. So you guys can just write it down. Write down whatever you think are the important factors when it comes to social media impacting. It can be something as simple as likes and comments to something as big as sentiment analysis. So you can take a couple of minutes and write something if you want. Yeah, that would be the end goal. You can just write whatever you think of right now.
Which question is it? Which one's the most?
Can you repeat the question?
So what we're trying to achieve here is to understand what are the important social media metrics or social media factors that can influence business. For instance, we just saw what happened with Snapchat. So since we tweeted that this update wasn't good, the business went down. So something as simple as the tweet put out there, or maybe the likes, maybe comments, maybe shares, maybe subredditing something, or what do you think can cause a business to go up or down when it comes to social media? You can list down as many as you want. We'll then discuss the actual professional metrics that people look at for social media analytics.
To you or to what? So they just me guessing. It's okay. Oh.
So I think I have a fair bit of responses here to work with. So we think Twitter is the most influential platform and favorites is the most important part. Fair enough. Reputation, marketing, likes, follows, very insightful. How fast news travels, social outreach, social reach to people, fantastic. Facebook, Instagram posts with locations with positive experience helps business go up. All these are fantastic answers, and these are actually the things that impact businesses. If we may not be something as simple as liking a post can influence businesses, which is very true. And we should discuss that in a little more detail here. So the final metrics that we can group all of these into include few of these. Frequency. Frequency includes how often the ICO company posts, tweets, or post something on Instagram or on Facebook. And then social outreach. What are the impressions that are created by the ICO companies? How far do the social posts reach? How many people does it target? And then we have interaction and response rate. So if investors or potential investors raise concerns on social media platforms like Twitter or Telegram, do the ICO companies take effort to respond to them? And then sentiment, is it positively skewed, is it negatively skewed, is it neutral, those kind of metrics. Then we have engagement levels. So engagement levels refers to how many retweets does a post get, how many likes, how many comments, how many shares, how many subreddits, those kind of things. And then we have referral traffic. Referral traffic refers to how much traffic that particular social media post is creating. And then community size, follower count, how many of those followers are actual followers and not bots. And then the last one is share of voice. Share of voice is something is a metric that refers to how your company is performing with respect to your competitors. So here we can see a particular analysis that I came up with for Tyrion, where you can see that the red line here represents the closing price, and the yellow line is the social media engagement score that I came up with based on the metrics that we discussed in the previous slide. So you can see that when the price was high on 14th Jan 2018, the social media reach was also equally on a higher scale. Whereas here on 19th November 17, the social media engagement was very less as compared to something on 28th Jan or 14th Jan, for instance, where the price was higher. So we can see that there's a direct correlation between social media engagement and the price of a particular coin or a token. So I think we have enough time for a very small video on investing in ICOs. So there's this.
Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Amy Wan. We've got a special interview for you today with 12-year-old George Beaksner. We first introduced you to him earlier this year at Lou Kerner's Crypto Money in New York City. And today, he's made his way to sunny Southern California. Welcome, George. It's great to have you. So tell me, how did you first get interested in cryptocurrency?
My dad taught me about the crypto trend going around, and I got really excited, especially at the time. So I played a game and I lost my coins, so we came up with the idea of quarters.
Very cool. And I hear that you keep up on cryptocurrency trends. The value of Bitcoin has dropped dramatically since January. How does that make you?
Well, I was thinking that most of the cryptocurrencies that exist now, Bitcoin mostly doesn't have a real purpose. So we think quarters is now a great step to slide up into those big cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
So let's talk a little bit about cryptocurrency investing versus ICO investing. Tell us, what is the difference?
So cryptocurrency investing, in my opinion, is a little bit less risky and something that's already been used and produced and defined. And ICO investing is a lot more risky and it's about stuff that is just going off the ground.
Interesting. So, we've been hearing reports that government regulators such as the SEC and other regulators are examining ICO deals as well as shutting some of them down. What do you think about government regulation of ICOs?
Well, what Quarters is doing is we are checking, and we have lawyers, and we're going through very carefully and making sure that we have all the regulation that we need so that our shut down.
So how do you go about educating and making sure that you're up to date on all the topics about crypto and ICO investing?
So what I think is that if you're going to invest in anything, you should know what you're investing in. So anyone can invest in cryptocurrencies or anything, as long as they have information and you know what they're doing.
Very wise. So, what do you see yourself doing in the future? Do you think you're going to continue on in the blockchain industry for a long time?
I don't know. I got a whole lot of love ahead of me.
Fantastic. George Beaksner, it's been a pleasure talking.
So 12-year-old George is an actual founder of a cryptocurrency company, and he's an investor as well. So all of you can also be investors in ICOs. There are potential risks involved. For example, there are no formal process to audit ICOs. Legally, the companies that deal with ICOs are not bound to constantly update the investors because it's all unregulated. And the volatility and uncertainty surrounding token price is something extremely bothering because token prices, as we all know, depend on the market value and can keep fluctuating between high and low. We all saw that Bitcoin reached an all-time high last year and then fell down drastically. So clearly it is important to conduct your own research and do your own kind of background check before you look into investing in ICOs. And since it's just an introduction session on ICOs, you can always read further about it on the internet, or always drop a mail to me or Professor Seshan to understand more about ICOs. And with that, I would like to end the presentation today. You can always contact me at this email address. Again, I thank Professor Seshan and Professor Tom for giving me this opportunity. It was wonderful interacting with all of you. Thank you.
If I want to offer, physically want to offer a coin, what to do? Any website I can visit?
Yeah, I mean, you can use social media to advertise your coins. But you need to have a white paper. You need to have a dedicated team that that investors can trust on. You simply cannot go online and say, I'm planning to launch a new ICO campaign. You need credible information and credible sources backing you, and you need to have an advisory committee which is pretty renowned all across the ICO market to ensure that that this guy is actually something cool and you can invest in him with a lot of confidence.
I'll ask you some questions later.